teams down in Miami and one game left. Joe Johnson and the Triplets against the Aliens. That's coming up next here in Miami.
She was a 3-time WNBA MVP, a 4-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-time WNBA champion, and an 8-time All-Star. She is a member of the James Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The head coach for Triplets, Lisa Leslie.
The after party begins, but it's been a party tonight here in Miami.
Yeah, it's just been a great day all the way around. You got some teams that's really trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. And now you're looking at a Triplets team that's on fire right now, playing some really good basketball. So we'll see if they're going to be asleep at the wheel or if they'll play their game. They're a team that should win this game.
Joe Johnson, best player arguably in league history. It's been great again for the Triplets, but so has Jeremy Pargo, especially from that 4-point circle.
Yeah, Pargo, he can knock down that 4-point shot similar to what we saw Detman in game 1. But, hey, man, it's all about Joe Johnson, ISO Joe. He obviously makes Coach Lisa Leslie a better coach. She's coming over to say hello to us right now.
This guy has made the most threes in the big three, Giannis Tima of the Aliens.
Yeah, Giannis Tima can knock down threes. He does it in a variety of ways, but as a spot-up three-point shooter, one of the best spot-up shooters, similar to Jody Meeks in the league.
Here are the lineups. The Aliens led by Dusan Bullet. Can he take over? Get him a win today? We're going to find out. Jeremy Pargo back for the Triplets after coaching in the Summer League with Indiana. Lisa Leslie winning a title with the Triplets in 2019, the Naismith Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats in the women's game. On the other side, it is the baddest bad boy of them all, Rick Mahorn, again leading the Aliens in season number 6.
And when you're having a tough season, it's like, hey, what about small victories? You know, get off to a good start.
It's always weird going from Rick Mahorn to the rules because he practically invented rules back in the 80s with Detroit. First 50 wins, gets the break at 25. No game clock in the big three. And again, the 4-point shot. Avery Pargo by himself has made 4 for the Triplets. Here are the standings. What a win for Trilogy earlier against Tri-State. It's week 5. Right now there are 7, count them, 7 teams with at least 3 wins.
And those 7 teams have a lot of things in common. One, unlike the Aliens, teams can score the basketball. The Aliens are last in the big 3 in scoring, only averaging 40 points a game. That's not going to do it. You look at a team like the Triplets, they got a lot of different ways that they can score the basketball. It's not always just about Joe Johnson.
Coach Joe Machidi with Bullet and Tima for the Aliens against Joe Johnson, Jeremy Pargo, and Larry Sanders for the Triplets. On paper, this is a tilted matchup, but Avery, it's the big 3. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, but the Aliens, they don't have an answer for Joe Johnson. This is a game right now. Joe Johnson, 35 points in a game like this. Too many mismatched situations. But we'll see. That's why we play the game. That's why Lisa Leslie's up early coaching. You don't see her relaxing.
I think Lisa's like you. Basketball, coaching, broadcasting, and many, many other ventures.
No, she's not like me. She's Beauty, I'm the Beast.
Joe with the 3. He's got 5 early for the Triplets.
You can tell Joe has something on his mind. He's not coming out trying to set up his teammates. He's looking to score the basketball.
He scored 20 last week, a win against Three's Company. Tima, that's what he does best with the triple.
Yeah, and that's something Sanders, you got to know the strengths and weaknesses of the guy that you're guarding. He's got to make Tima put the ball on the floor. So we'll see.
Johnson shakes down Bullet, fades away, hits. He's 3 of 3 with all 7 for the triplets.
We'll see what type of adjustments Lisa Leslie makes, because if Sanders can't defend Tima at that three-point line, they're going to have to make some sort of adjustment.
Here he is, Tima. First miss.
And that was a mistake.
Johnson, pull up for the elbow. Got it. He's 4 of 4 with 9 points.
Joe looked like he's trying to get this one over early.
Miles can't get him a table at prime 112. He's got to get there early. Bullet for Tima. Catch, shoot, hits it. What about the shooting on both sides?
Yeah, there's 2 back-to-back mistakes by Sanders. You can't close out below the three-point line. You have to close out where you can actually touch Tima. Then you'll know you're in good position.
Too much from Pargo. Loose ball foul on Sanders. What a start for ISO Joe.
Yeah, ISO Joe is coming out saying, look, I know how to win a Big 3 championship. I'm the baddest man in the Big 3, in the history of the Big 3, and I'm going to show you why.
Jamaria Moon in for Sanders after that last foul. Mashidi off the mark.
Yeah, you kind of saw that coming, because Moon, he'll be a guy that's a switch guy defensively. He can score the ball. He can make a 3.
3 to shoot. Pargo hits it. Tough for 2.
And you can see Lisa Leslie with the adjustment.
Tima again. Yes. That's his 3rd 3.
Yeah, Pargo didn't switch in that situation. Poor communication. Team is making him pay. He's keeping his team hanging around.
And we're tied at 11. By the way, you mentioned Joe Johnson maybe could go for 35 in a matchup like this. The Big 3 record for points in a game is 34. That was Joe back in 2021. Maybe do it again. He's got 9 already for the triplets. One-on-one on a clear out. Johnson, the kick. Boone for 3.
And they're going to live with that, the aliens. They're allowed. Shoot the ball.
Bullet fakes, gets free, missed it.
And I think Moon's going to have to cut to the basket when they double team Joe Johnson. Oh,
Joe just missed. What a move. Mashidi, runners, no good. Pargo made the game winner last week. For 4, short. Made 4 4-point shots. The rest of the league's made 4. Mashidi, nice fake. It's good. Aliens by 2.
yeah, and the aliens are here to play. They're not playing like an 0-4 team.
The man from Germany. In Miami, the 0-4 Aliens, good start, up by 2 on the triplets. Avery Johnson, early scoring duel with Joe Johnson and Giannis Tima.
Yeah, Joe Johnson is right in his bag, his ISO Joe mode. He knows he's one of the best players off the dribble, creating his own shot. And then, on the other side, Giannis Tima, he's got He's a knockdown three-point shooter. We showed it to you before the game started. That's his gift. You can't leave him open. That short closeout right there, that's an insult. So you got to close out a lot harder and tighter on Tima.
And from Latvia, 6'7", great release. Went pro in Latvia when he was 17. He's 30 now. All he's known as pro ball. Here's Pargo. Fades away from the keyhole. And coming to the aliens out of bounds.
Yeah, and I know Pargo next time, he's just going to take the three-point shot. You're wide open. Your teammate creates a wide open three for you. Knock it down.
Pargo with Moon and Johnson. Tima, Bullet, Mashidi for the aliens. Mashidi slapped away by Moon. Oh, late whistle and a foul. It sounded like all ball.
Yeah, and if eyes could tell, the way Lisa Leslie looked at the referee, you can say that she disagreed. Now she's gonna bring the fire.
Look at beauty, not pleased with the call, to say the least.
No.
So, Moon defending against Kostya Mashidi. Bring the fire challenge. Challenge shooting foul. So players go one-on-one. If the defense gets stopped, no basket. If the player scores or is fouled, counted for two. That was quick, and that was way off the mark.
Yeah, in that situation, you got to go with your best move. I don't know if that's the best move for Mashidi in that situation.
Triplets from the joint power with 4 wins in week 5.
And when the aliens bring the help, are you going to be ready to score the basketball?
Moon off the dribble. Nifty for 2.
Yeah, very nifty.
Tied up 13. Mario Moon played with Miami Heat back in the day.
Yeah, in a game like this, Moon, if he scores 14 points to help Joe Johnson relieve some of the scoring duties, he can have a big night tonight because he will be open.
Pargo against Tima. Behind the back, stumbles, no foul. Bullet denied by Moon, but a foul. Moon with it. Triplets.
Moon's going to have to be very careful. This is his second foul, right?
With 3 in the first half, you've got to sit. So Moon out, Sanders in.
Yeah, this is a good substitution here because Tima is now out, so Sanders, he'll find a better matchup.
Bullet is true. Can the aliens winless this season? Pargo couldn't save it. And the triplets out of sorts here in Miami.
Yeah, and all those loose ball situations, got to take care of the ball. In the big 3 would hurt you. Turnovers, offensive rebounds.
Pargo with the shove of Ivacic. Second on the triplets. Mashidi sets a bullet. Aliens with 7 to shoot. Rainmakers and air ball. Ivacic the save. Didn't get off in time. That was not an ideal possession.
I don't know what Bullock was thinking about in that situation. But give the aliens credit, man. They're not backing down. They're playing hard, competitive.
Joe, good start, but quiet since with 9 points. Bullet driving on Sanders, reverses, he's going to shoot a free throw. Sanders saying that Bullet traveled, but instead, it's Bullet back at the line.
Yeah, I think Sanders has a point. Bullet did a nice job of trying to get into his body.
Bullet, third Big Three season, second with the Aliens. Broke in with power a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I remember when he broke in with power. Man, his first game, he looked really nervous and unsure of himself, and long flight over here. But man, he's since settled in.
Sanders found by Bullet. It's gotten really chippy in his first half.
Yeah, beautiful pass by Pargo over the top. He knew that Sanders had the size advantage. That's the one thing I love about the Big Three. Because of the experience of all of our players, very high basketball IQ.
Derek Byers in for the Aliens. Johnson bodies into him. For to shoot, the fadeaway, rimmed out. Sanders with a clothesline of Ivasev. Moon with 2, and now Sanders with a second foul.
Yep. Whenever you're late, whenever you're behind, it's called first mover's advantage. Whomever moves first, that's the guy and touches that basketball. Sanders is in foul trouble. Third foul.
So he's got to sit now. Moon re-enters. Off the screen, Bullet. Nice roll, Ivasev, yes! Well executed.
Yeah, but that was all Bullet. He realized that he got 2 players on the ball, and teammate rolls to the basket. And after a hot start, the Triplets, they just don't look like a team that's taking this team seriously.
Moon, line drive's good, but still, with that basket, Aliens with an 11-4 run.
And with Sanders in foul trouble, Moon, again, my target number for him, he's going to need somewhere around 12 to 15 points if the Triplets hope to win this game.
Ivasev, drop step. Byers, off the mark on a 3. There's Bullet, ripped it away. Byers again, 0 for 2. Bullet snuck in there another time, behind the back, but missed Byers. But Bullet putting a dent on this game.
Yeah, but look at Bullet right here on this pick and roll. You see Moon commits 2 on the ball, nice roll, on time, on target pass. Joe Johnson had to make a decision on the weak side whether he wanted to come and help or defend the 3-point line. He was caught in between.
Gennaro Pargo in for the Triplets. For his brother, Jeremy, get a breather. Byers with a deflection. Johnson pull up for 3. That's good! Joe Johnson with another tray.
I thought I saw Pargo coaching in the Vegas Summer League.
Yep, with Indiana.
With Indiana, that's right.
Gennaro with the Pacers on Rick Carlisle's staff. Before that, he was with Portland. Moon's runner missed the rim. Byers with the cleanup. Oh, Shard Lewis with Detroit on their staff recently. Andrew Barbosa with Sacramento. His NBA assistants.
I love guys are spreading their wings, getting into coaching.
Joe's on a roll. He's got 14.
Yeah, Joe's going to have a big game.
Ivasev spins, scores.
Ivasev realized he had the smaller Pargo on him. He sealed him off. Nice left-handed pass by Baluk. When you can pass with your left and right hand, that just says you're a fundamentally solid player.
Johnson drop step. Byers, good recovery.
Nice D by Byers.
Fade away. Next Aliens basket will get us to the break.
And who would have thought that you would be saying that?
No doubt. Ivasev, ball fake, bullet, the help, Banker missed. Pargo launches. Banker, that's no good. Nice slip, and Ivasev, jersey was pulled by Johnson. That's a good foul, but for the Triplets, that's their sixth, and the Aliens get a free throw.
Yeah, and pinpoint passing by Baloo. He's been masterful at running the pick and roll and realizing where to pass the basketball away from the defense. What is a bounce pass?
Timeout, Lisa Leslie with her team down 23-20. Avery, there have been some teams with close losses in the Big Three. The Aliens, not one of them. It's been tough week in and week out. Look at the margin of defeat this year, first 4 weeks.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. When you're last in the Big Three in points, you know, you're only averaging 40 points. This is going to be the byproduct of it. You're going to have these double-digit losses, and you got to be able to score the basketball. I know defense wins championships, and people say offense sells tickets, but you got to have a balanced team.
5 weeks, lots of different players. 8 dressed for the Aliens. Latest to do it, Byers rejoining the squad. That's hard.
Very hard. And remember, this is where the ball hogs used to be.
Right.
In situations like this. Now they're 3-2.
Man, Scout left. He's done for the day. I wish she was still here, man.
How did Scout get a chance to? Why is he off and we're still working?
Did the first 5.
I know. I'm just playing. Just playing.
Great to be with all of you. Weeks 5 in Miami. 6th final game of the day. Next week to Boston. And the Aliens are at the break with the lead. 25-20. Hey, it's not March, but an upset alert here in the Big Three.
There is an upset alert. The Aliens, they have a lot of pride. Team has come out and shot the ball well from the three-point line, and we'll see what happens on the other side.
Lisa Leslie squad up against it, against the baddest bad boy of them all, and the Aliens up by 5 at the break here in Miami.
And we're going to let y'all shoot as many 4-point shots. All four. Put it right here. Put it right here. 1 minute on the clock. Let's shoot as many 4-point shots as you can. As long as your foot is in the circle. 1 foot in the circle is all you need. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go! Come on, put him up! Put him up! Go high, go high! 30 seconds. 30 seconds! Who's hit? Who's hit? Oh, we got one! 15 seconds. 3. 5, 4, that's 4. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we got a winner out here.
Upset alert in Miami. The Aliens winless, but leading the Triplets at the break by 5 here in Kaseya Center. Welcome back inside at Cohen with Avery Johnson. All right, Joe Johnson got to a great start, but Giannis Tima did as well. The Aliens making it tough right now for the Triplets.
Yeah, the Aliens are playing with a lot of pride. You've got to remember, Rick Mahorn is their coach. He's not going to allow this team to lay down independent of what the record is. And they have a guy on their team that's not named Joe Johnson that's playing some extremely good basketball.
Giannis Tima, most threes made the big three entering this week 5, delivered early in this one for the Aliens.
Yeah, and he capitalized on some mistakes by the defense, not recognizing that you got to close out to the touch, run him off the three-point line. You can't close out short. You got to attack him when he's on defense, and he made the Triplets pay for their defensive mistakes.
9 points, made 3 threes, and what Bull was doing in the pick and roll, great combination. The Aliens by 5, 25-20.
And you got to remember, you got to know exactly what your pick and roll defense is, and it starts with communication.
Oh, Avery, there's Drazen Petrovic, old school Nets jersey sighting. He died 30 years ago, 1993, but think about the great European players in the NBA. He was one of the originals to really make a difference.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Played against him a couple of years. Or I watched him early in my career. I didn't play as much, but this guy, man, was a very impressive scorer. And as you know, NBA was opening up the game globally, he was a part of it.
Giannis Tima from Latvia, Drazen Petrovic, hailed from Yugoslavia, later Croatia. Bowler was really the first in the big three. Here's Tima, 3 short for the international influence in the latest 3-on-3 basketball league in the world. Johnson going reverse. No, Sanders follow.
Yeah, and that's where Sanders can really help the Triplets getting on that offensive glass. We'll see if the Triplets have a little bit of a different focus in this second half and try to minimize any mistakes on the defensive end.
Oh, shot clock expired on the Aliens.
Boy, but you see Sanders' defense, his defensive focus, man. But it starts on offense. He realizes Joe Johnson draws a lot of attention, so he's on that offensive glass.
Joe with 14 in the first half. Johnson spins and scores.
You can't give Joe Johnson that many dribbles inside against anybody.
They double Tima. Bullet, bad pass, and a turnover.
Man, this back down Joe, you can see him, the body control, the patience, shot fakes, pump fakes, masterful score. It's been that way his whole career.
Timeout Aliens. Johnson with 16. And the Triplets with 1 with the first 4 points of this half. Big three standings, the Aliens still winless. Again, after week 6, it'll go from 12 teams to 10. Then to week 8, it's going to go from 10 to 8. And then the final 4 make the playoffs in Washington, D.C.
And they're playing like a team that's desperate, that they don't want to be the first team cut. Maybe it'll be the three-headed monster, so we'll see what happens.
Bivouac losing earlier today. Three's Company winning today. But again, you've got 7 teams through 5 weeks with at least 3 wins.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with Bivouac. That was one of my teams that I thought would play much better basketball.
How about the enemies making their push for the playoffs the first time? Johnson against Machidi. Doesn't have to be cleared. Bullet does. Johnson got into him, commits the foul. So for the triplets, Johnson, Jeremy Pargo, Larry Sanders against Bullet, Tima, and Machidi. 5 to shoot. The 3 is good for Kosha Machidi.
You just got to have that communication, loud communication, to figure out what you're going to do in a pick and roll or any situation. Isolation, I'm by myself, I got him, I need help.
I don't think Sanders left his feet, but he's fouled.
And Machidi, here he is. Pargo goes under the screen and roll, which is a mistake, and he made him pay. We'll see the adjustment from Pargo. He's not going to go under a pick and roll again, especially if you're not switching.
Larry Sanders, Avery, last year not as impactful with Tri-State, but 2 years ago was the defender of the year in the Big Three.
Yeah, and he's had some impact on this team's success here in the second half. He's been much better in where he should be in terms of positioning.
Tima launches short, and Sanders fouled by Giannis Tima.
Yeah, Sanders is really animated and into it. Where they had an advantage early in the game with Tima not to start this second half.
Pargo inching into the 4-point circle.
Yeah, he's been quiet.
Spins, missed it. Loose ball foul. It's on Sanders.
Pargo, for a guy that's fourth in the Big Three in scoring, 20 points a game, just hasn't been the same player.
Johnson off the block, didn't have to clear. He's got 18 now. But to your point, it just feels like we're nearing that moment where either Johnson or Pargo really looks to take over. Yeah, Sanders again, that's, I think, his 5th overall.
Yeah, but looked like he got pushed into this foul. Wow.
Avery, 3 fouls now in the triplets this half. Aliens with 2. Machidi working on Joe, the step back. Pargo in the corner, nails the 3. There it is for Jeremy Pargo.
Technical foul, I believe, on somebody.
It's on Machidi for the Aliens. So 1 shot for 2 for Pargo.
Must have said something.
And again, if your team gets 1 tech, it's okay. If you get a second, that's where it's a killer. Get 2 shots, each for 2. 33-28, triplets, outscoring the Aliens this half, 13-3. Right now, 9-0. Will today be the day they get their first win? All right, Coach.
And I love that rule when you get your second technical foul, 2 shots, each shot counts. I love that rule.
Yeah.
Try to keep guys away from complaining.
Bullet pulls up.
Watch your back, Joe.
And one of the better rules is if you're ejected, got to leave the building.
Whoa. Yeah.
You're gone.
You're gone.
Pargo. Machidi, stutter dribble, back it up to the shoot. Ivasev. That's a tough shot. Loose ball foul on Ivasev for the Aliens. That's their 5th.
Yeah, you see a little bit more sense of urgency from the Triplets. Defensively, they're tightening it up, not making as many mistakes.
I should say each team with 4 fouls this half. Oh, he wanted the 4, didn't he?
Yep.
Gets free now for one. Remember, he made 4 4-point shots entering today.
So he's within his range.
Oh, yes. Ivasev was pulled by Sanders. It's becoming an ongoing battle. Avery, these guys embrace the physicality that makes the league special.
Yep, exactly. And the fans appreciate it.
Machidi for Ivasev. Byers. Fadeaway block. Sanders with the stub. Rejection and the finish.
Sanders is a different player. We've said it over and over again. I can't say it enough. That's why it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. Another steal from Sanders and Joe Johnson in the corner.
Oh, yes. Joe with 21. Timeout, Aliens. Hey, let's watch the Larry Sanders Show.
Yeah, this is the Larry Sanders Show, and we have a front row seat. And right now the Triplets are on an 18-3 run, and it's because of Sanders on the defensive end. Block shot, he didn't block it out of bounds, and then he helped with a steal and Johnson 3 from the corner. Triplets by 10.
It's defending champion, Triplets. Then it's 2 teams in the hunt for the #1 seed as ISO Joe and Triplets take on Dante Green and Killer Threes. Don't miss the hottest matchup as the summer of fire rages on. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, right here on CBS.
All right, Miami, who wants a t-shirt? Make some noise. A victory t-shirt boss. Who wants a victory t-shirt?
Second half, it's been all Triplets. How about 18-3 outscoring the Aliens since the break?
Yeah, and it's all about hustle, man. It's having your defense create opportunities for your offensive rebound, taking care of the basketball, playing defense without fouling. But this has been about Larry Sanders. He's a much different player than when he started the game. He's much more focused, not making as many defensive mistakes, and the byproduct of it is ISO Joe is continuing his masterful work.
Bullet, quick release, short. Johnson with the rebound. Did have to clear. Ivasev riding the entire way with the foul.
That in situations like that, that is a very useless foul. It's so unnecessary.
Each team now 5 this half. Shot clock is good to go.
Yep. We had somebody hit the shot clock, a fan, in one of the shooting competitions.
That felt like hours ago, days ago. And Bullet undercut Sanders on the lob.
Yeah, and they got lucky, the Triplets, in that situation because the pass was really late. Yeah, it was late. Now he's open. Could have been 3 seconds in the lane.
Hold up. Rick Hort's going to bring the fire because in the bonus, it's a common foul. You can do that on a non-shooting foul once you're in the penalty.
Yeah, and I would take my chances here, even though there's a size disadvantage. Now, if you Sanders, do not step on the three-point line.
That happened earlier.
Yeah.
With Jalen Johnson of the Bullhogs.
Go with his best move. Do not shoot a jump shot.
Good D. Good finish. Well done.
Yep. Bullet even had to shake his hand on that one. Lisa Leslie's really excited.
(20-3). Triplets outscored the Aliens this half. Pargo on a string. Throws it away, but there's Joe for 4. Crowd would have gone nuts.
I know.
You might have gone nuts.
I would have gone, yep.
Tima camped out.
Tima just can't get those open looks.
Johnson darting in against Bullet. Doubled, shakes, scores! Joe Johnson delivers again.
Joe Johnson is taking the defense to school right now.
Gives him 23.
Yeah, we'll see if the Aliens got one more push.
Bullet, a quick answer. Lisa Leslie, timeout. Moon's going to come in, I believe, out of the timeout.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach Lisa Leslie's thinking here. Good timeout. Good timeout.
Next week from Miami to Boston, just like the Eastern Conference Finals. Back and forth. Begins with Trilogy and Threes Company. How about that second game on CBS?
Yeah, Triplets and Killer Threes, man, what a game. But I'm still looking at power. I'm very impressed with their focus right now. And Royce White, the way he's playing on both ends of the floor. Catino Mobley. Yep. I like power right now.
The enemies should give them a real test next week up in Boston at TD Garden.
And has he got?
Oh, man. Ryan Carter for Trilogy. Another game winner here tonight. Maybe the most important win for their season against Tri-State. All right, the Aliens. Avery, it's been a tough year. Down 12. Need about everything to go right and some here against the Triplets.
Yeah, and you're playing against Joe Johnson.
Moon fires. Johnson tapped it, but Bullet with the rebound. Johnson entering today, Avery, was second in the league in rebounding. And tied for third in assists. Pargo, crossover, drives, scoop, got it! What a move, Jeremy Pargo.
And that's why Pargo, you need him in a real way because he's the Robin to Joe Johnson's Batman. And in, on that situation, they basically allow Joe Johnson to rest on offense.
Bullet, nice move, yes.
Bullet is a very crafty player. Reminds you of Steve Nash. Now they're going to attack this matchup again. They think Pargo's got the advantage.
Spins, shooting a free throw for 2. It's on Bullet.
Yeah, Pargo was dancing on the perimeter. Nice little George Gervin finger roll. Ooh.
1 for 2.
Point game for the Triplets. 46-32 against the Aliens.
And remember, because of the foul situation, they get to keep the ball.
A 4 will win it. Pargo spins, fades.
He put a little bit of mustard on that one. We'll see if they know they're winning by 14 points.
Pull the chair. Fires the intercept. Machidi hits it for 3. Go for the 4?
Nope. I'm going to Joe Johnson. I'm going to Joe Johnson. I'm not messing around. This ball will touch Joe Johnson's hands.
Here he is. Joe for 3. It's an air ball. Moon got it on the weak side. They'll have a chance at 3.
I told you, Moon needs to be the X factor. I gave him a point total goal. He didn't reach it, but he was in the right place at the right time.
Real smile for Moon. Remember, a couple of years ago, was acquired mid-season by the Triplets. Won the title in 2019.
Gentlemen, one, step in for me, please. One.
Make it, take it. Triplets get it back. A chance to win.
It's make it, take it. That's why we love Grooves now. Everything comes into play. Look like Pargo's going to go try to get it.
For the game winner. No, fires the block and the finish. Still, it's point game.
Listen.
Bullet tried to say it's our ball. No.
Go to Joe Johnson.
Pargo. Offloads Moon. No, but will get a free throw for the win.
Moon could be the hero here. Nice little bounce pass.
1 for 2. Pargo. 1 for 2.
And as fathers of young kids read regularly, we say, good night, Moon.
Good night.
It's all over. Triplets win it, 51-37. Jamario closing it out.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Sanders played extremely well, but it was all about Joe Johnson.
The standings at the end of week 5, we have 2 teams now, 4-1, Power, and the Triplets, 2 former Big 3 champs.
Yeah, and that's Joe Johnson is playing with a level of focus right now. They're another team that's going to be hard to beat. He and Pargo, man, these guys can combine for 40 points on any given night.
My guy, it's always a party in Miami. It's always a great one with you.
Yeah, we had a great time. Great day in the Big 3. I know this was another highly rated week for us, and can't thank Ice Cube enough for allowing us to be a part of it.
Love it. Final score, Game 6. It goes to the Triplets here in Miami. So for Avery Johnson, our entire crew, I'm at Cohen. 6 games in the books, week 5 in the books in Miami. On to Boston next week, saying goodnight from South Florida.